artificial intelligence. It's a term you hear like everywhere these days, right? But what does it actually mean? I'm not talking about the sci-fi movie stuff. I'm talking about the real AI that's already shaping your world, probably in ways you don't even see. So in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain and take a look.
So let's just stop for a second. When I say artificial intelligence, what's the very first thing that pops into your head? Come on, be honest. Is it, a walking, talking robot? Maybe some kind of evil supercomputer from a blockbuster movie?
Yeah, if you pictured a robot, you're definitely not alone. That's the classic image we all have for movies. But the reality? It's way more subtle than that, and frankly, it's already way more a part of our lives. The most powerful AI in the world right now isn't some clunky robot walking around. No, it's the invisible code humming away in the background of the apps you use every single day.
Okay, so what are we really talking about here? Let's get a simple definition on the table. At its heart, AI is really just the science of making machines smart. It's all about building computer systems that can do things that, normally need a human brain. Stuff like learning from experience, spotting patterns, or even making decisions.
All right, so here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to look at the AI that's already your hidden companion. Then, we'll pop the hood and see how this stuff actually thinks. And to wrap it up, we'll take a look into the future and see where all this is headed.
All right, let's dive into part 1, your hidden daily companion. We're about to uncover all the AI you're already using, probably without a second thought. It's working behind the scenes, making your life just a little bit easier.
So, where do we start? How about with an app that's on, well, pretty much everyone's phone, Facebook? I mean, think about it. With billions of people uploading photos, sharing what they're doing, it's basically become this massive, real-world playground for AI to learn and grow.
And get a load of this number, 97%. That is how accurate Facebook's facial recognition is. Now, just to put that into perspective for you, that's reportedly even more accurate than the FBI system. Let that sink in for a second. We're talking about that level of power just humming away inside a social media app. It's kind of wild.
And believe me, this tech does a lot more than just suggest who to tag in a photo. That AI, it's the silent DJ of your newsfeed, always learning what you like, predicting what you'll click on next. It's the engine that decides which ad you see. And maybe most importantly, it's on the digital front lines, scanning for and pulling down harmful content, a lot of times before a single person even reports it.
Okay, so let's switch gears. We've talked social media. Now how about just getting around town? I mean, who here doesn't use Google Maps to get from point A to point B? It's a lifesaver, right?
You know that little arrival time it gives you? That's not a simple guess. That's pure AI magic. See, Google Maps isn't just looking at how fast cars are going right now. It's crunching a ton of historical data for that exact road at that exact time of day. Then it mixes in real-time info from everyone else's phones, and that's how it predicts when you'll get there. It's always learning, which is how it can do that incredible thing where it tells you to turn off and avoid a traffic jam you didn't even know was ahead.
All right, for our last example in this section, let's talk about a place we all spend probably too much time, our email inbox. Seems pretty straightforward, right? But oh yeah, there is some seriously powerful AI working in there too.
So if you're a Gmail user, you're seeing this every day. That AI is what's automatically sorting your mail into primary, social, and promotions. And you know what? It's also the bouncer at the door of your inbox. It's so ridiculously good at spotting junk that it blocks over 99% of all spam. And it's even learning how you write, which is how it suggests those little smart replies that sometimes, let's be honest, are exactly what you were about to type anyway.
Okay, so we've seen what AI is doing all around us. But the really big question, the million-dollar question is, how does it do it? Well, it's not actually magic. The secret sauce is a game-changing concept called machine learning.
And this is the absolute key to understanding everything. The old way, traditional programming, is all about rules. A human programmer sits down and writes a very strict set of instructions. If this happens, do that. You put data in, the program follows the rules, and an answer comes out. Simple. But with machine learning, you totally flip that on its head. Instead of writing rules, you give the machine a bunch of examples. You give it the input data, and you show it the right answers. And then you say, okay, computer, you figure out the rules for yourself. It literally teaches itself to see the patterns.
Okay, I know that might sound a little abstract, so let's make this super simple. Let's use an analogy. Forget all the complicated code. Imagine all we want to do is teach a computer to know the difference between a picture of an apple and a picture of a banana.
It really just comes down to 3 basic steps. First up is training. You don't write any rules like apples are red, you just feed it data.
Tons of it. We're talking thousands and thousands of pictures, each one labeled apple, banana, orange, and so on. Then, step 2 is learning. This is where the magic happens. The AI looks at all those pictures and starts to find the patterns on its own. It figures out, things labeled apple tend to be round and red. Things labeled banana are usually long and yellow. Finally, step 3, the big test, prediction. You give it a brand new photo it has never ever seen before. And based on all those patterns it figured out, it makes a call. That's an apple. See? It learned. It didn't just follow a set of instructions. And that right there is the heart of modern AI.
So that's the basic how behind it all. But what's truly incredible, what's kind of staggering really, is how fast this is all evolving. The jump from just a theory in a lab to the tools we're all using today, well, it's happened at a mind-bending speed.
And this timeline really tells the whole story. I mean, look at it. The term artificial intelligence gets coined way back in the 1950s, and for decades it's mostly stuck in university labs. Then, boom, 1997, a major moment. IBM's Deep Blue beats the world chess champion Garry Kasparov. A machine beat the best human at a game of pure strategy. That was huge. But then, look how the gaps get smaller. In 2016, we get Sophia, that superhuman-like robot that got everyone talking. And then, just a blink of an eye later, 2023 happens. ChatGPT explodes onto the scene and puts this incredible conversational AI into the hands of millions of people, basically overnight. The pace isn't just fast anymore, it's accelerating like crazy.
So where is all this speed taking us? Well, if you talk to the experts, they're pointing to 3 huge trends just over the horizon. First one, greater accessibility. Building this stuff is getting cheaper and easier, which means it's not just a toy for giant tech companies anymore. Second, get ready for smarter AI agents. We're moving beyond AIs that just do one little task. We're talking about systems that can handle complex, multi-step jobs all by themselves. And third, and this one is so important, a huge focus on ethics. There's a growing push to make sure this powerful technology is built to be fair, transparent, and responsible.
So if you take away one thing, let it be this. We are in the middle of a massive shift. AI is evolving from just being a fancy tool that does what we tell it to do into something more like a partner that can learn with us, reason with us, and even create things right alongside us.
And really, that brings us to the most important question of all, doesn't it? This technology isn't some far-off, abstract idea anymore. It's here. It's a real force that is actively changing our world. So the big question is no longer just, what is AI? The question we all have to ask is, what will AI mean for me, for your future? How is it going to change the way you work, the way you learn, the way you live? Honestly, that's the big conversation of our time, and it's one that every single one of us needs to be a part of.